Hey guys, my name is Maz. Thank you for joining me for today's class. So today we're going to do things slightly differently. So we are still going to be exploring our Vinyasa yoga, but I'd like us to have more of an open mind. I'd like us to embrace free movement. So often the poses we're taught to do a certain way, to hold for a certain number of breaths, but today I'd like us to free up a little bit. So I will be inviting a lot of free movement. I, of course, will demonstrate some of this, but if you feel, you feel like it'd be nice to just move freely in your own way, then please do. Feel free to close the eyes and just move and just go with what your body feels like doing today. So as always, please honour any injuries or anything you might be working with, and I invite you to come and lie down on your mats to begin. So bringing your legs into any position that feels comfortable for your body. I invite you to take one hand onto the chest, one hand onto the belly. Deciding whether you're going to close the eyes or maybe just soften the gaze. And just start to prepare your body, your mind, your breath for this practice. We're going to begin our practice by setting an intention. And that intention today, if you could repeat it in your mind's eye, is I will allow myself to take what I need from this practice. So you're giving yourself space to be nurturing if that's what you need. For this practice to be replenishing or energizing if that's what your body needs today. Just make this practice whatever it needs to be for you. So just take a moment to check in now. What does your body need? How is the body feeling, the breath feeling? Yoga is a dance. It's a dance between control and surrender. A dance between pushing and letting go. Between stillness and movement. Between strength and softness. Yoga is the dance of every cell with the music of every breath that creates inner serenity and inner harmony. So today, let's use our breath to move our bodies freely and with love to see if we can find even just a glimpse of that inner state of balance and calm. So on your next breath in, draw the knees into the chest, cross the ankles over each other, and just start to draw some circles with your knees. See this movement as a massage for your lower back, really pressing the lower back into your mat. Making sure the shoulders are heavy, the neck stays long, and just enjoy a few breaths here, massaging out the lower back. Breathing in, breathing out through the nose. Lovely. From here, just gently release the cross of the ankles. Pop the feet onto the floor about hip-width distance apart, and we're just going to bring some movement into the arms and the shoulders. So breathe in, reach the fingertips high. And as you breathe out, take the left hand back behind you, the right palm down by the side of your body, so the arms move in the opposite way. Breathe in, back to centre. Breathe out, take right arm back by the ear, left arm by the side of the body. Breathe into centre. And I just invite you to keep moving like that. You don't have to pause in the middle now. You can make it a continuous movement if that feels okay. Just for a moment, start to notice what's going on in your shoulders today. Do the palms touch the ground, or maybe they hover a little bit? Can you keep the shoulders gently away from the ears? And can you keep the sides of your body long, pressing into the feet. Good, guys. A few more rounds like that, just some gentle movement for the arms and the shoulders. And then next time the palms come up to centre, up to the ceiling, bring them down by the side of the body. So we're going to bring our movement into our lower body now. So just making sure the knees are pointed over the toes. Engage the adductors, so you're engaging the thighs towards each other. And then press into the feet as you breathe in and peel the bum, the hips off the floor. And as you breathe out, gently lower it back down. So a little bridge. And again, we're doing this in time with our breath. So the breath in lifts, squeeze the thighs towards each other. And the breath out softly lowers upper, middle, lower back. As you move, what can you find interesting about your body? Maybe you can feel the space in the chest in this posture. Maybe you can feel the strength building, gentle strength in the glutes, in the thighs. Just a few more rounds of breath, really starting to bring gentle energy into the lower body, making sure the knees stay pointed over the toes. Taking your last round here. And then soften the hips into the ground. Take the palms out wide to the side if you've got space. And just start to sway the knees now from side to side. So now we're moving more into the hips. You might like how it feels when you're on one hand side. You might stay there for a couple of breaths, or you might just keep this movement going. Really pressing the lower back into the floor, pressing the shoulder blades into the floor. Taking one more round on each side. And then coming up to centre. We're going to grab our knees into our chest one last time. And if you need to lie on one hand side and help yourselves up that way, then do. Otherwise, we're going to start to take our rock and rolls. Again, it's like a massage for the whole back of the body. So you might enjoy this and do a few of these. You might just take one, maybe take two. And then when the time feels right, come all the way up and gently make your way round to your tabletop position. Taking the wrists under the shoulders, the knees under the hips, and here I invite you to close your eyes. I want you to resist looking at the screen if you can. Of course, if you need to have a little look for some inspiration, you're more than welcome to. And I just want you to start by drawing circles with your body in this tabletop position. You're deciding how big or small these circles are, how fast or slow. You're deciding how many circles you do in one direction and then the other. And then from there, start to explore freer movement in your body. So coming away from the idea of circles, what other movements could you bring in here? And there's no wrong answer. As long as it feels okay for the body, your movement is good. It could be a wiggle of the hips. It could be movement into the neck, into the head. You might be completely free and lift arms, lift legs. You've got a few more rounds of breath. Use this movement to release any bits of tension or tightness that might be lingering in the body. Notice how the wrists are feeling, the arms are feeling. And then at the end of your next breath out, rest it into your tabletop and gently open the eyes. Lovely. Okay, listening carefully here because this can be a confusing transition. We're going to take our left foot and turn it so it points towards the left-hand side of the mat. And if I show you with my right foot, just so you can see, we're turning in this position. So take the left foot back. And then we're going to come up onto the tiptoes of the right foot. So we've got a nice deep bend in the knee. We're on the toes of the right foot. This arm's underneath the shoulder for support. We're going to breathe in as we reach this arm up. Feel space across the chest. And then I again invite you to explore whatever movement feels nice here. You might might just start with some circles with the top arm, just to check in with the shoulder. How much mobility do you have there today? When the confidence builds, maybe you drop the chest. Maybe you move into the hips. Just breathe and move. So we're inviting this free movement, this exploration into every pose we do in this class. You've got a few more rounds of breath here. And then on your next breath in, reach that right arm back up to the ceiling. And you're going to extend the right leg towards the back of your mat and flex the toes. If this becomes a bit too much, just let the foot come down. If you can, we're going to keep it lifted. We're going to say good morning or good evening whenever you're practicing to those glutes and those thighs. Big breath in. Then as you breathe out, you draw the knee and the elbow together, a little tuck of the chin. Breathe in, reach it tall, reach it long, kick that heel away. And breathe out, draw it in. Last time, reach it high. Breathe it in, strong supporting arm. And then as you lift, you've got the option for free movement again here. So if you wish, the leg can be a little bit more free. The leg can explore a little bit more space. If that doesn't feel good, let the toes come down. Instead, use this to explore your upper body. But again, you've got a few more rounds of breath. Don't worry if this gets tiring quite quickly, it will. We're not holding any particularly strong poses, but the constant movement in the body really is energizing. Last few breaths here. And then gently let the hand come round, the knee come back, and come back to your tabletop and have a moment to wiggle it out. If the wrists felt like that took on quite a bit of weight, you can come off those wrists, give them a shake. Okay, so now we know where we're going. We're going to do all of that again on the second side. If you're embracing this free movement, how can you make it different on this side? So I'm turning around so I can see the camera. You don't have to turn here. Okay, so we're taking the right foot now towards the right-hand side of the mat. And then we're lifting up onto our left tiptoes. It just brings a little bit of space into this inner thigh. Press the palm into the floor. We're going to take a big breath in, lift this left arm high. And then on your breath out, you are free to start to explore again. So what can you learn as you move your body freely? Are you feeling a particular part of the body more than the others? What sensations can you feel? See if you are embracing this free movement. See if you can just move in a way that feels interesting. Maybe you can move in ways you haven't moved before. You've got a few more rounds of breath. And then reach your left arm back up as you breathe in. And either extend the leg with the toes on the floor, or if you want more energy, flex the toes towards the side of your mat. Breathing in, really engaging those glutes and those thighs. Breathe it out, knee and the elbow tucks in. Breath in, extend long. Breath out, draws you in, a little tuck of the chin can feel good for the neck here. One more round, reaches you high. Draw it in. And then open, and here we are, that chance to explore. So this is a balance. Don't worry if you're falling out. Maybe falling out is part of your exploration. Again, don't worry if it doesn't look anything like mine. This is my exploration. You need to make this work for your body. If it's too much to have the foot lifted, bring it to the floor and just focus on your upper body. And then when the time feels right, gently bring the hand down, the knees back down. and wiggle that out. Good, guys. So I'm hoping you're already feeling quite a bit of energy in the body. All right, and this is just going to keep continuing. So we're going to come into our first downward facing dog from here. So spreading the fingers wide, press the fingertips into the floor, tuck the toes, and take your hips back up with you. Now, just like we normally would in our first downward dog, I invite you to move. So perhaps the movement here has a different purpose. Perhaps the movement in your dog has the purpose of opening the hamstrings, opening the calves, finding length through the back of your body, through the spine. Or you might already feel quite warm in those areas and you might make this a little bit freer. Maybe rippling forward and back, experimenting bending the knees deeply and lifting the hips up high. You've got a few more breaths, and don't worry, we come back to down dog a few times, so you'll have lots of chance to explore this pose. All right, from your down dog, we're going to make our way to stand at the top of our mat. So get there any way that feels good. Maybe taking little tiptoes, maybe swaying the hips. Arriving into our fold, drop the belly onto the thigh, deepen the bend in the knees, grab onto opposite elbows, and start to take your beautiful sway. Almost like you're drawing semicircles with your elbows. Notice the hamstrings, how are they feeling? If they're tight, bend the knees deeper. There's no pressure to have straight legs, especially not in our first forward fold. Lovely. Okay, keep the clasp of the hands now and start to roll yourself super, super slowly all the way up. And then take the elbows up and over the head. So we're coming into our sunflowers from here. I love this movement. So you breathe in. As you breathe out, lean to one side, soften the knees, drop the body back towards the floor, and then bring it all the way back up to centre. And then do that same thing, but take it the opposite way. And then I want you to just continue this. And again, you've got that option to be free here. Maybe you want to change the speed of the movement. Maybe you want to make the movements bigger or smaller. Maybe for you it feels nicest at the top and you want to spend a few breaths opening into the chest, into the shoulders. Maybe for you it feels better at the bottom of the position and you might want to take some sways with deep bent knees. Whatever it is, you've got a few more rounds. Just move, feel. And the next time you arrive at the top, breathe in. And then we're going to release the hands wide out to the side, face the palms forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And as you breathe out, round and curl, open the upper back. Let's go again, big breath in, reach the palms away, lead with your chest, but keep the core strong so you're not opening too much into the lower back. And then breathe out, round in, tucking that chin. Just one more round like that. Breathe in, chest opens, front body expands. Breathe out, round in, back body opens. And then release those hands. And take any movement that feels good here. Every time we come into a place where we'd normally be still, maybe you could just invite subtle movement. Maybe a wiggle of the hips, maybe some shoulder rolls, maybe grabbing a drink if that feels good right now. So we're coming into our first flow. So settling at the top in your mountain pose, pressing all four corners of the feet into the floor, opening those palms, softening the shoulders into the body. And here we go, take a beautiful breath in, reach the arms high above. And as you breathe out, hinge from the hips, belly towards thigh, sink it down into your fold. Breath in, Hands slide onto shins, onto thighs. Lift the chest, micro bend the knees, draw the elbows, shoulders back into the body. Sink it down. And from here we're stepping our right foot all the way back behind us and gently dropping the back knee down. So engage your thighs towards each other. Check your front knee is aiming over your heel and breathe in. Lift those arms, press the feet into the ground. Breathe out, bring the belly towards your thigh. Reach the fingertips back behind you and open the chest. 2 more times like that. Breathe in, reach those arms. Breathe out, belly towards thigh. Keep the deep bend in the front knee and you'll really get some nice benefits for the hip flexors. 1 more time. Breathe it in, lift, keep the core strong. Breathe it out, bring belly over thigh. Reach fingertips back behind you. Beautiful. And then let the palms come down to the floor. We're going to make a little transition to our warrior 2. So we're going to tuck our back toes, drop the back heel down. Keep the left hand down for a moment as you sweep your right arm up and open for warrior 2. And don't worry if it didn't look quite like that, that comes with a bit of practice. So check the front knees over the middle toe, you've got space in the hips, press into the side of the back foot. And we're going to invite movement here. So as you breathe in, straighten your front leg, bring the palms together overhead. And as you breathe out, bend back into that front knee, bring the palms of the hands to the heart, and then extend the arms wide. 2 more times. Breathe in, straighten the leg, palms touch. Breathe out, sink the hands through heart center, look down, front arm. Last time. Lift it high, lengthen, sink it down, warrior 2. From there, flip your front palm, lean your body forward, keep the legs where they are, reverse your warrior, so you're lifting your chest, you're opening your heart. Breathe it back in, warrior 2, legs might feel quite strong at this point. Breathe it out, reverse warrior, try not to become too clenched on the side of the body. 1 more breath in, I'm pretty sure clenched was not the word I was looking for. Breathe out, lift, open. And then bring it back to warrior 2. Continue that flow all the way so the hands come round your front foot, come onto back toes, step it back to downward facing dog. And you're here for 3 breaths. So what would you like to do for your 3 breaths in your downward facing dog? If 3 breaths in dog is just too much, drop the knees. Take tabletop, explore there. If you still need to open hamstrings, calves, keep bending the knees. If you're feeling a bit more fruity, be free. Make any movement that feels good. At the end of the 3 breaths, look up to the hands. We're making our way to the top of the mat and you can get there any way that you would like. So it might be a hop, it might be a walk, make it yours. Rest belly onto thigh. Press into the feet, reach the palms all the way up with you. And sink the hands through to heart center. Bring palms by side of body. Just take a moment to notice how you feel. Again, you can bring some gentle movement in here. You can stay where you are. I'm going to the other side just so I can still face the camera. Round 2. Big breath in, reach your arms high, lengthen through the sides of your body. Breath out, sink it all the way down to the ground. Sliding hands up onto shins, up onto thighs, lift the chest, draw belly button up and in. Breathe out, step the opposite foot back now and drop the back knee gently down. Make sure it's the different foot to the one you had at the front before. Squeeze those thighs and when you're ready, breathe in, lift the arms. And then breathe out, belly towards thigh, reach the fingertips behind you and keep the neck long. Breathe in, lift up tall, shine that heart forward. Breathe out, reach it back. Really lengthen the spine. You've got one more round like that. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, reach it back. Don't worry about me swapping round. And then bring the hands down to the ground. We're coming into that little warrior two transition. So lift the back knee, drop the back heel down to the ground. And if we can, we're dancing our way up. So the front arm leads you as you open the hips and settle in to warrior two. Front knee over middle toe, pressing into side edge of back foot. Let's take our flow. Breathe in, straighten the front leg, palms touch. Breathe out, hands come into the centre of the body, bend front knee, extend arms long. 2 more times. Breath in, reach. Breath out, sink palms to centre, extend. There's a fluidity to this movement. Can you find it? Last round. From your warrior two, flip your front palm, lean it forward. Reverse your warrior, back bend, side bend. Breathe it in, bring it back, warrior two. Breathe out, check the gaze goes wherever feels comfortable for the neck. Last time, deepen in, warrior two. Extend, reverse your warrior. And then continue that flow. So bring the hands all the way round the front foot, come onto back toes, step to downward facing dog. Just like before, 3 breaths here. How could you make these 3 breaths different in this dog compared to the last downward dog you held? You could come into 3-legged dog. You could bring movement into the hips. You could bend the knees deeply, drop the bum deep. Just listen to your body. And at the end of your 3 breaths in your down dog, look up to the hands. How are you making your way to the top? You can be silly with this. You can bounce, you can jump. Do what feels good. Arriving into your fold. And then reach the arms all the way up, out to the side if there's space. And then bring the hands through to the heart, bringing the palms by the side of the body, rounding off our flow. You might take a few moments just to feel that energy in the body. Maybe there's a little bit of movement as you do this, a little bit of a sway. So I'm really hoping we're feeling that energy. We're starting to release any stagnant, stuck energy from the body. So we're coming into our second flow here. Very similar to the first flow, with additions of adding on. There'll be moments where you see me switch legs. Unless I tell you to, don't do it. It's just so you get the best view, so you get the best experience of this class. All right then, guys. Shine those palms forward. Here we go. Breathe in, reach the arms tall, lengthen through the sides. Breathe out, sink yourselves all the way down to fold. Hands could be on the floor, or thighs, or shins. Straighten the legs, lift that chest, enjoy that space you have created. And then sinking the hands down, step it back to downward facing dog. Lift your hips nice and high, and then breathe in and reach your right leg up and back behind you. Bend the knee, open the hip, and just explore a few breaths of free movement here. You might wish to take circles in that knee. You might wish to explore how the hips feel. Maybe you're straightening the leg. You've got a few rounds of breath. Really feel what could feel good or interesting in your downward dog. Beautiful. And then gently step that foot all the way through to the top of your mat. So this time we're keeping the back knee off the floor, so press into that heel, unless of course you want to drop it down. Keep the left hand down to the ground, reach your right arm all the way up to your twist. And any guesses what we're going to do? We're going to bring movement in. So you might just bring movement into the upper arm. You might start to make this a little bit freer. Just explore what feels nice for your body. The legs might get involved. We might open and straighten. You've got to do what feels really nice for you. Beauty of this class is it will not look the same for anyone. It will look however it needs to look for you and your body. One more breath in. One more breath out. Settle back into your twist. And then we're coming back into that warrior two transition. Stay in your twist. I'm just changing legs. And we're going to drop that back heel. We're going to reach that top arm up. Open the arms wide. Settle, warrior two. Straight in, we're going to flip our palm. Lean the body forward. Reverse our warrior, but this time straighten your front leg. And take what we call them Shiva arms in yoga. Good. Breathe in, back to warrior, strong legs. Breathe out, Shiva arms, straighten the front leg, micro bend the front knee. Last time, deepen. Press into back foot, extend, straighten. Beautiful. Come back to warrior two. Bring hands all the way down and we're back into that twist. So we reach our top arm up, we stay in that twist. Option to stay. Some of you might feel a little bit more energized. You might want to take your front foot back behind you for a side plank. And if you're here, you might want to explore some free movement. If side plank's just a little bit too complicated, drop the bottom knee and come back into the version of side plank you took at the start of the class. Few more rounds of breath in whichever variation feels nice for you. Beautiful. And then gently bring it round to plank. Big breath in your plank. And we're going to vinyasa. So you could drop the knees, you could take full plank. What is good for you? How are you going to lower to the ground? As you breathe in, take any back bend that feels good for your body. It could be a cobra, a locust, an up dog. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Hands come back by the chest. Tuck toes, press hips up and back. You're back to your downward facing dog. You've got a few moments to explore free movement here if that feels nice. Do what feels good for you. And then we're going to breathe in and lift our left leg up and back. Bend into that knee, and how are you going to move? So maybe you're taking some big circles to mobilise the hips. Maybe you're rippling backwards and forwards with that foot lifted. You're using your three-legged dog as a base to explore. And then you're going to step that foot all the way to the top of your mat. Press into your back heel, deeply bend the front knee, and we're going to peel this top arm up for our twist. And when you feel ready, explore this movement. Now don't be worried if it feels strange. We're so used to being told, do this pose, hold for this many breaths. So to be suddenly told, make it whatever you wish, it can be quite daunting, and that's okay. That might not be the way you prefer to practice, it just might be a new way. But see if you can be open-minded. See if you can just, well, like we said at the start, make this practice what it needs to be for you today. Next breath in lifts you back to your twist. You guys stay in your twist. We're coming into that warrior two transition. So we drop our back heel. We lift the front arm, open those hips. Find our warrior two. Flip your front palm. Lean it forward and then straighten your front leg. Come into reverse warrior with those beautiful Shiva arms. 2 more rounds. Breath in, warrior. Breath out, chest, lift, straighten the leg. Last one, deepen in, last warrior 2 of the practice. Straighten, open chest. Bring it back. Continue your flow all the way down. So fingertips frame that front foot. I'm switching again, you stay. So you could stay in your twist. Perfectly good option, and you might just move into the upper body. Those of you that want to take it, you could come into your side plank, any version. Remember, you can drop the back knee and then start to explore. And this is a balance, it's a strong posture. So if you feel like you're going to fall out, make that part of the practice. Maybe stay sat on the floor and explore movement. If you're still up there, make it yours. You've got another few more rounds of breath. And then turn round to your plank. Breathe in your plank. Make your way down to the ground in any way that feels good, but hug those elbows in. Let the core be strong. Press into the hands. Take the back bend that feels best for you. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Holding, breathing, moving, whatever feels good for your body. I'm going to invite you to join me for a few plank waves. If you're happy just exploring, do. So as you breathe in, ripple forward into your plank like a wave. And as you breathe out, take the hips back up, press the heels into the ground. Either stay and explore or do that 2 more times. That's asking quite a bit of the shoulders, the wrists, the core. And then looking up to our hands, it's the last time to step up to the top of our mat and in any creative way you wish. So when you're ready, make your way to the top of your mats. Press into the feet, reach the arms all the way up and over the head. Bring the palms through centre, down by the side of the body, and let that go. Woo. I'm definitely getting hot teaching this class, so I'm hoping we're feeling that lovely heat in the body. Oh, I do love movement. All right, so we're going to come into a balance, and of course we're going to make movement in our balance. So I'm going to show you quickly before we join in. We're going to come into eagle. So what we're going to do, and I'll talk you through this properly when we get there, we're going to hold our eagle lifted, or we're going to come down. And then we're going to breathe out and open the eagle. And you can open to any position that feels good. We then bring it back in. You can be as wobbly as that. And then open it out. And we do that 5 times on each side. You do need to be playful here. We will be wobbling, falling out. Just be kind, have fun, sense of play. So for eagle, we'll start by wrapping the right leg. I would say just a single wrap here. Normally we say we combine twice, not for this. And then take the right arm under. If this position feels awkward for the shoulders, I've got something going on my arm, so that doesn't feel good for me today. I'm going to take my hands onto the shoulders instead. So breathe in. You either stay upright in your eagle or hug it in. And then you're going to breathe out and extend, take up space. Great, guys. Bring it back in, hug it in, breath in. Breath out, open, extend. And you can make any shape on that extension. It does not have to look anything like mine. You've got 2 more rounds. Embrace any wobbling. I'm certainly wobbling everywhere. Reach. And you've got your last round coming up. Hug it in on the breath in. Breathe out, extend, be free. And then move here. Any way that feels good. If you can keep the leg off the floor, bonus, because goodness me, you're building muscle in your standing leg. If you can't, that's okay. Just a few breaths. explore, make it yours, dance, smile. And then release the foot. Oh, release the arms. Let that go. Woo. All right, straight into the second side. I know we're repeating, but remember the sides are bound to feel very different. That's completely normal. All right, guys. You can use walls, doors, anything you need for support here. So let's cross. Left leg just the once. Left arm underneath. Are we ready? The breath in can keep you tall or hug you in. The breath out opens and extends. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Make any shape that works in that moment. Breathe it in, curl or stay tall. Open, explore. How spacious can you become? You've got 2 more rounds. Woo! Embrace the wobbling. Make it part of the movement. And this is the last one. Make it good. And extend. And can you be free again here? What does your body want you to do? Or maybe the body doesn't want you to do any movement at all because you're tired. You are welcome to come into stillness. But think of all the benefits you are giving that standing leg. You're working your mobility, your strength. Just a few more breaths. And then settle. Wiggle it out. Eagle is a hard balance as it is, guys, okay? So don't be frustrated if you found that really difficult. I did too. So we are going to start to bring it down onto our mats to calm things down a little bit now. But your last, well not your last, but another opportunity for a bit of free movement. How are you going to get down to sit on the floor facing the side of your mat? So you might vinyasa. You might just sway the arms, move the body. You've got a few rounds of breath. This is just really awkward. It's okay. Come and sit down on the ground. And get your way any way that you wish. And then let the bum come down and take the feet out nice and wide. If you have a pillow, a blanket, a block that you can place under the hips, that's going to be really, really useful here because it's going to give the pelvis a little bit of a tuck under, and that's going to be really helpful to help you with any folding you might decide to do. So what we're going to do here, well, it's free movement again, but the aim of the movement this time is to soften all those parts of the body you've used in that practice. So you can move between one leg and then the other. You might bring the arms into this, take a few side bends, but don't forget the legs are allowed to move. Maybe you start to bend one knee, maybe you turn to the side. So again, it's free movement. You've got the option of watching me following along, but I am completely improvising, or close the eyes and just go with what feels good. I'll start us off and then I'll bring you out when it's time to slow it. What's important here is whatever movements you make, they feel good on your body. This isn't anyone else's body, it's yours. What do you need to release from quite a strong practice? Just making sure all your movements are guided by your breath. Only do what feels good for you and your breath. And really give yourself permission to really let go and come out of the pose if that feels good. This is your time to release anything that might have built up for you and your body. Three more deep breaths in and out. At the end of those breaths, We're just going to help the knees bend. Keep them nice and wide. Bring the hands down to the sides for support. And a bit like we did at the start, we're just going to sway those knees from side to side. So this is inviting a bit of an opening into those hips and thighs again. If you're on a pillow or a block, you might want to take that out of the way. You've probably fallen off it by now. And again, you might just do this. This might just feel really good, really nourishing right now. Or maybe you just want to add a little bit more of you. Maybe dropping chest and belly to the side. Maybe slowing the movement down, speeding it up. And again, the aim of this movement is to prepare the body now for heading towards relaxation. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then come to sit in any position that feels right for the body. We're just going to open the front of the body again like we did at the start. So breathe in, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other, lead with the chest. Breathe out, reach the fingertips forward, tuck the chin, reach away. You may even give yourselves a hug here. 2 more rounds, breathe in, extend. Breathe out, hug it in. Last one, reach it long. And hug it in. Release the hands onto the legs in whichever way you're sitting. Last bit now. Move into your body. Maybe just some circles. Maybe the head and the neck get involved. Breathe. Iron out any last bits of tightness or energy you need to release before you can relax. And then make the decision. Are you ending your class today in a seated position, like a meditative seat? Or are you going to start to make your way to lie down on your mat? If you're choosing to lie down, make your way there now. If you're choosing to stay seated, maybe make any last little bits of movement. And then wherever you are, if it feels okay, close the eyes. Notice how your body feels. After a class that involves a lot of freer movement, I often feel like I can feel energy running through my body, almost like an electrical current. Start to notice if that is perhaps going on for you. The human body is designed to move. It doesn't matter what those movements look like. It doesn't have to be a set posture, a set position, a set movement. It doesn't matter where those movements are made, in a studio, in a gym. Just moving, movement for movement's sake, just free movement, is sometimes all the body is craving out for, especially if you're sat at a desk a lot or you've been driving. It's a really great way to re-energize the body. Let's just take a few moments now just to reflect. Did you enjoy the chance of free movement? Did you embrace that sense of freedom? Or did that give you the opposite feeling? Did you feel a bit anxious about it, unsure of how you should move? Both of these answers are okay. Somewhere in between is okay too. Just be aware. Yoga is a dance. It's the music of every cell, of every breath, helping you find even just a glimpse of that inner harmony, that inner calm. So notice if you've managed to find that at all today. Remember, it's okay if that didn't arrive for you. Just take a few more breaths, basking in that energy you have created today. And then let's start to invite some movements back into the body now. And you probably have guessed it, I'm going to let you decide what those are. Whether you're lying down, whether you're seated, just start to move. Knowing that you're perhaps going to have to get on with your day after this class, unless you're treating yourself to more than one class today. Start to move in a way that's going to reawaken you, prepare you for whatever it is you've got to come. If you're lying down, you might start to think about now how you're going to make your transition up to a seated position. And then when you do arrive at the top, we're going to end with one more little bit of movement together. Take the palms out wide. Breathe in, reach the arms up and over the head. Breathe out, bring the palms to the centre of the body. Take a little tuck of the chin. And hold here as you thank yourself for dedicating time to body, mind and breath. Thank yourselves for being open-minded, enjoying some free movement. And as always, thank you for joining me for your class. Namaste.